Hey guys, welcome to my Etsy channel. This is Nancy from nancybadijo.com and welcome to another episode of Etsy Shop Critique. If this is your first time visiting my Etsy channel and you are an Etsy seller thinking of becoming an Etsy seller, or maybe you have your own handmade business, this is the channel to be. I upload weekly videos on how to build a thriving, successful handmade business online. So make sure that you go ahead and subscribe. Today's critique is going to be on the store called Casey Michelle Art. The store owner is Casey, and I will link her store below this video. Also, any tools and resources that I currently talk in the video. If you click below this video, you'll find a text box, and if you click in there, you'll find all the resources that I talk about in this video, plus additional resources for Etsy sellers. So make sure that you guys check it out below. The first thing I normally do on a critique is that I pick a particular listing and I kind of audit that particular listing. So the listing that I picked was this one right here. So let's click on it. I already have it open in another window. And the reason why I picked this listing, I usually try to pick one that I could give more of a critique on versus having to pick one that maybe doesn't really need that much critique on. So that's the reason why. So first of all, I always talk about product photography. And when you sell on Etsy, it's very important that your photo is amazing. It has to be amazing. And the reason why is first impressions. When you sell online, the person can't physically grab the item. They can't touch the item. They can't feel the texture. They can't see it. All they have to go by is your photo. So your photo has to be amazing, because no matter how amazing your product is, if your photo is okay or, just decent enough, it could cost you a sale. So just, think about it like the last time that you were shopping and maybe you came across a bad photo, right? Or maybe the photo was out of focus, or maybe you couldn't figure out how large the item was or what exactly you were buying, or maybe there was too much going on in the photo. When I look at this photo, I feel like it's a little bit too much going on. It's a beautiful mock-up. I just feel like um, it's taking away from the actual photo. It's kind of busy, in other words. And then when people look at it in the Etsy feed, if they look at it once and they can't figure out, even though I know this is a picture, a print that they're buying, but if they can't figure that out within the first few seconds, they're gonna skip through it and kind of like go to the next thing that they find. So therefore, you're trying to attract two different type of buyers. You're trying to attract the buyer that is looking for this particular item. It's like your target audience. This person typed in that they're looking for a gypsy print, so you want to target them, but you also want to target the buyer that not necessarily was looking for this particular item, but they found it, they saw it, fell in love with it, and they want to buy it. So you're kind of targeting both audiences. Um, I do give you props for having different pictures. You did a really good job with that, because a lot of people just put one or two and they kind of leave it there. I'm guilty of that as well. But I think that what I've learned in the last 3 years in Oxy is that the more photos you have, and from different angles, maybe you have a lifestyle picture, maybe you have like a regular basic picture, maybe have a picture on the side. It does help the person visualize it on how it would look in their wall, how it would look in their home. So it does help adding different types of photos. I do, always tell people try to use all 10 available photos in each listing, and then show off the product in its details through different angles. And also, size and scale is very important. So putting something so they could know exactly what size you're getting does help. I do like the fact that you've done a really good job with putting a lot of photos. You did the I talk about this all the time. I think that um, you got this from me. I want to say if you didn't, great job. This is really good. Just making sure that you add a call to action and asking people to favor your shop is really important because um, I don't know if you guys know this, but Etsy does a listing quality on every listing. So whenever you update a new listing on the feed, the more people like your shop or the more people like your particular listing, what happens is that you will rank higher in the search results. Now, that's one of the contributing factors, is not all of them, but that's one of them, is based on how people are engaging with that particular product. So more people you get to like your product, the more higher rank you will be on Etsy search results. So it's really great that you have this here. Um, my only suggestion would be that when you do your photo and you do the mock-ups, I would remove this one here only because it's getting cut off. It's a beautiful picture, but I don't feel like is maybe not doing any justice for it because of it's getting cut off, or maybe move it a little bit to the right so it doesn't get cut off. And then what I will also say is this one I actually like, because this one, in my opinion, should be your first photo because it illustrates exactly what they're buying. They know it's a print, and it's also a little bigger. So it shows more of the details of the actual print, which is a very beautiful print, but it shows it a little bit better in my opinion. So if I had to pick a photo out of all the ones here, I would say this one should be the first one, even though I love this one because it's very girly and I like that look or that style. I just don't think it works particularly well because of all the flowers. That's just my opinion. You don't need to make these changes if you feel like it is working for you and you're getting a lot of sales, or not a lot of sales, but you're getting clicks and you feel like you don't need to change it. I just think that it is a little bit too busy. So therefore, I say the first one, it has to be the attention grabber. And this one is very clear of what you're selling. And this one draws the eyes to the flowers, which makes it a little bit confusing. So that's just my take on the photo. Um, Now, the next thing I want to talk about is SEO, also known as search engine optimization. And SEO is basically just how when somebody types in a keyword, they find your product or services, and you want to potentially rank on the first page of Etsy. That way you could get the most traffic to your shop. If you're buried in the search results, then it becomes a little bit harder to drive traffic. When I did your audit for your actual listing, you're doing a good job of picking keywords that are competitive but not too competitive. Now, the only other thing that I would say that um, I really didn't focus before on, that now I'm really focused on, that makes a big difference, is understanding who is your target audience and using keywords that are going to target those type of people. So when you do like gypsy wall art, that's more targeting your audience than when you say gypsy soul, only because somebody might type in gypsy soul and see your actual print and say, oh, that's cute, let me buy it. But if somebody's looking for an actual print or an actual wall art or something to decor their room, it's better if you use long tail keywords that you say gypsy wall art or gypsy um, print to decor or decorations, something that is more targeted to the people that are actually searching for your product and services. Something like this word here, Romanian, is too broad. This could be pretty much anything. So when you go to Etsy.com, you'll see that there's a lot of different items with that particular keyword. It's not specifically just artwork. There's necklaces, there's shirts, there's just random stuff here. So therefore, when you use that keyword, you're not targeting your target audience. You're just showing your listing to anybody and everybody. So when you use keywords that are not targeting your target audience. Um, you know, sometimes people say, I get a lot of views, I get a lot of likes, but I just don't understand why people are not buying. It's because you're showing your product to the wrong people. You're not showing it to people who are truly searching for a wall art. If you put just the word Romanian, then it's going to show it to anybody and everybody that types that keyword, and that doesn't specifically describe what you're selling. So what I would do is just stick with long tail keywords, stay away from single words, and also stay away from words that are too broad. That could be a niche of different stuff. Like if you say wall art, that's too broad, because wall art could be anything. So the same with Romanian. So you have to make sure that you specify it is a wall art, but you have to put the word gypsy on top of it, in front of it or after it. That way it describes what exactly or what type of wall art is. And when you do that, now you are targeting your target audience. Now, in order to understand who is your target audience, especially when you first open a store, it does take up to 90 days for you to start gathering information from your shop, to start getting that information. What I recommend is I have a video on Etsy, and it's about connecting your store to Google Analytics. I highly recommend doing that. When you connect your store to Google Analytics, it's going to pull more information. It's going to pull up people's interests. It's going to show you their demographics, like are there more women? Are there more men? What age? Where they're shopping from? And it's really good information, because when you want to know who is your target audience, that way you could run ads on Facebook or run ads on Google AdWords or do other promoting listings. If you don't know who your target audience is, you're just showing your stuff to anybody. So therefore, you might get a lot of impressions and you might get a lot of views, but your sales will not go up. But when you are very targeted to your audience and you show your ads only to those specific people that you know are the people that shop for what you're selling, then then you could take 500 on Facebook ads and turn that into 2,000. But you definitely have to understand who is your target audience. It does take time in the beginning, especially if you didn't do market research and you don't know who your target audience. The best way is to gather the information. Make sure that you use long tail keywords that describe exactly what you're selling, so therefore you'll be a little bit closer to your right target audience. And in 90 days, when you collect all this data from Etsy stats and also Google Analytics, you'll be able to write on a piece of paper who is your persona, who is the people that you want to target. And from there, you start, okay, it's more females that buy my product. They're between age of 24 and 34. They live in this specific area of the US or this specific area of the world, and blah 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 blah. And then when you run an ad, you target those type of people, especially like with Facebook, that you could be that precise. Now Etsy is a little bit different because you can't be that precise with like age and gender and etc. But the nice thing with Etsy is that if you know who is your target audience, just changing your SEO will go ahead deliberately will show your ads to people that are your target audience. So that's why it's important not only to gather information from Google Analytics and Etsy stats. It's also important that your SEO also reflects who is your target audience. So doing a combination of both. So your SEO is not bad, and it's pretty good, but it could improve your quality of how many sales you get by improving who is your target audience. So taking it to the next level. So something like Fashion Sketch or Inhale Exhale or Romanian, Life is a Journey. I don't think these really describe the actual listing that you're selling. I think that maybe at the time when you were picking the keywords, it got a little bit hard. You couldn't find more. So when you found some that were on the green and had some type of engagement, you just picked those. However, now if they do go with what you're selling, then I apologize. But if they don't, like especially this one here that doesn't, because it's so broad, I would just change them. And another thing I noticed is that you're doing your SEO like how I used to do it, and I need to change my SEO. So you're doing the SEO that you're putting all the keywords or majority of the keywords here, and then you have them here like I do. What I would recommend, this is something that I have to start also clearing for my stores, is that with the new, it's not saying that you particularly have it wrong because you don't have it wrong. It's just that with the new changes that Etsy made, what they want you to do is put the main keyword in the beginning of your sentence, which is here, and you have it here, which is great. And they want you to like simplify the title. They want you to make it simple. So, Gypsy Soul wall art decor, something like that. Just simple, straightforward. When we put a lot of keywords here, which is the way that they used to want it, which now is considered as keyword stuffing, what happens is, I guess, a lot of customers, when they read the title, they get confused and they don't know exactly what they're buying, and that causes some type of confusion. So now Etsy wants you to simplify it. Now, it doesn't mean that by you putting a simplified title versus putting all the keywords that you're not going to get the same amount of traffic. It doesn't mean that. It just means that you want to meet both sides. You want to meet the algorithm, what they want, which is making sure your SEO keyword is there, but then you also want to meet the requirement of a human being. So when they read it, it's easier for them to know exactly what they're buying. If they see, like for me, like I have wedding invites, so I have wedding invitations, wedding invitations, party invitation. Like when they see all that, they get confused. Versus when I say gold wedding invites, and that's all I wrote. It's just easier for them to know exactly what they're buying. So it's almost like you have to meet both standards. Like you have to still meet SEO standards for algorithm, but you have to make it in a way that is easy for the human to read. So, and it's not robotic and you don't have keyword stuffing and it looks natural. So the first thing will be making sure that your main keyword is in the beginning of the sentence because that's an SEO on page factor. And it's the first thing that Google pulls when somebody searches for something in the search engine, and also Etsy. And then what you want to do is put the main keyword in the beginning of your meta description, and then write a short description of what you're selling. This is what they show. This is the preview that they see when somebody searches for you on Google. This is what they see. So when they see a whole bunch of keywords, um, they might not be so enticed to click. And this is an off-page SEO factor. And this is basically a description, a short description of what you're selling. And it should one include the main keyword, and it also should include an enticing description to make someone want to click and learn more about your products and services. So therefore, the way I used to do it is the incorrect way. The correct way is to um, put the main keyword here and write an enticing description. Now, what you do want to do as an on-page SEO factor is that you want to take these additional keywords and you want to put them all over your listing description. Um, the reason I used to put them up here is because it was easier just to put them up here. But because they don't want you doing keyword stuffing, what they want you to do now is take these keywords and spread them out in your listing description. So you would put, this is a like you did a really great job with the description here. So you would put here, get this gypsy wall print illustration. So that's one keyword, and then you will put here your gypsy download will not have the watermark. And then let's say another one was this one, boho girl wall decor, right? So you put you would get your boho girl wall art, you would get a PDF and JPEG included in your purchase. And then you keep going. And then you don't have to put all 13 tags, but the more tags you put, the better. And this is for the search query. So whenever anybody types in any of those keywords, your store will send like a signal to the algorithm, and the search query will say, oh, this store has all these keywords that people are typing in, and then your store will rank higher in placement for in the search engine on Etsy. And that's a good thing, because the more you optimize your listings and you optimize your whole page, the more traffic it would drive back to your shop. So therefore, you do want to make sure you include them in your listing description. After you do your keywords and you update your photos and you make them more attractive and more beautiful than they already are, the next step is the listing description. And the listing description is basically what it says. It's just you telling the customer what they're getting, how they're getting it, pretty much everything and anything they need to know about the listing. That way there's no confusion. It builds credibility. It avoids unnecessary messages. You're always going to get a message. You're always going to get that person that doesn't read, because that happens to me quite often. However, it does it does benefit you as a seller if you have all the information disclosed. If something was to happen that the customer opens a case against your shop because something wasn't explained to them, by you having it in the listing description, it actually helps you, and they'll close out the sale and take your side. If you don't have that in your listing description, then they'll abide by the customer. So therefore, it's important, and you've done a really good job. You broken it down just like how I do it, so that's actually pretty good. My only recommendation is you put here, view the matching journal and sticker in my shop. What I would do is put a link here for that. A lot of people are lazy, or you have to think about it like it might be their first time shopping. So they might not know, maybe they do want to see your matching journal and sticker, but they don't know how to find it. So the last thing you want them to do is click back, or maybe they get an ad down here for a different shop or something and they click there and they leave your store. So that's the last thing you want to do, for them to leave by accident. So the easier you make them to navigate your shop or understand what you're selling, the more possibility of them buying from you. So what I would do is just put a link right here with those particular products. That way is really easy for them to find it. And then when they click on those links, you should put a link back to this actual product from the other product. That way, vice versa, if they go to that one and they say, oh, I don't want to get the sticker, but I do want to get the print, they could just click and come back to it. Other than that, you did a really good job with your listing description, and you have your backlink for your homepage. So all that is good. So that is perfect right there. Um, the last thing I want to talk about is the curation of your shop, and it's basically how your shop looks. Um, if you have a logo, if you have how your photos look, just everything. You have branding colors. Um, I think overall it looks really good. If this is your first time on Etsy, and you don't have I don't know if you do. It looks like you have experience, but if you don't have experience, I mean, your shop looks amazing. When I first opened my shop, it looked horrible, because I didn't know graphic design, I didn't know Photoshop, I didn't know how to do a lot of stuff, and I didn't have a creative eye, and I'm still struggle with it. Every day I look at stuff, I'm like, wow, I could improve that, or let me change that up. So over time, you do tend to get better and better and better. So I think that if this is your first time, Cassie, I think you've done a really good job, because you do have some, you are creative. That's what I'm trying to say. Versus me, I wasn't. So really good job on that. My only suggestion would be with this here, um, because it could be a little, some people might not understand it. What I would do is maybe put the Facebook icon, the Instagram icon, and the Pinterest icon up here. Maybe have it that way, or just have a line that says Facebook and then the username Instagram, the username in Pinterest. Now, you don't have to change it. That's just my opinion. Um, in the beginning of this video, I don't know if you saw it, but I'll go ahead and link the way I have it for mine. And I have like the logos on the top, and then I have my handle name on the bottom. It will take less space, and then you could add more stuff in your shop. Like you could add, if you have a website, or if you have hours of operation, if you want to add something like that to kind of make it look different, then you could add that additional. Great job that you have a logo, and great job that you have a photo of yourself. It's important that you have that as an Etsy seller, because when you sell on Etsy is very personal. People want to know who they're buying from. So it's really good touch. So always have a photo of yourself. I think if I saw this photo here and I saw that one and that one, obviously it does look like it's coming from the same shop, which is branding 101, is making sure that your photos are all cohesive to the same style and color. However, some of the other ones don't look like they go to belong in the shop. Like this one here and this one look like they're different compared to this one and let's say this one here. So therefore, the only my only suggestion would be is try to create the same style, the same colors. That way, it looks more cohesive, and when people start seeing it online or on Google, they could relate it back to, oh, that's Cassie's store, and they start getting that. They start noticing that that's from that particular shop. Um, but that also comes with time. I mean, I'm constantly working on it myself. So it's not something that you should beat yourself over or say, oh my God, I need to fix it right away. I think with time, you'll develop a style and come together with branding colors. If you go to creativemarket.com, they have, and I have a link below, they have a lot of branding colors. They have like stuff that you could buy that's already pre-made with colors, and then you will create a whole aesthetic or a whole cohesive brand using those colors, and they complement each other. So if you're not as creative in that area, that's a really good way to find colors that go with each other without having to like do so much research. It's just automatically you'll find them. So I will recommend doing that. Um, Good job on adding a announcement. What I would do, which is something that I'm starting to do on all my shops, is do a go to Etsy rank and start looking keywords that you want to rank for, which are for your digital illustrations, right? And take all those keywords, do a list of like I say 25 to 50 keywords if you can. Then take those keywords and put them in your tagline. So here I wouldn't put by Casey Michelle because you're wasting this space. You already have your name here. You're wasting this space when that could be a keyword. So let's say a keyword is digital illustrations and another keyword is wall art decor. I don't know. Let's say those are the two. So you could put here digital illustrations to decorate your wall art. So now you're targeting two keywords there. Here, also do the same thing. Um, Put these in categories. Even if you have one item in one category, it doesn't matter. If one of your keywords is Dreamcatcher shirt, then you will put here or maybe you put digital illustrations on shirt. Let's say that's one of the keywords. You will make this category digital illustrations on shirt, and then these will be, let's say, um, boho dream catcher or boho dream illustrations. Let's say that's one of the keywords. Then you will put here boho dream illustrations, and then what you do is also you take those keywords and you go down to your about me section and you include them in your about me section. You talk about why you started and you put them in there with your beautiful about me. Like you kind of mix it up with your keywords. And then you go and you put it here as well. And then you go and you put it in your chat pot. You put all the keywords everywhere you could put a keyword. And that's optimizing your Etsy shop to be found in the search engine, to rank higher in the search engine. Is very, very important. The more you do that, the more eyes on your shop, the more traffic, because now Etsy is ranking you higher in the search results. So I would do that. Just create a list of 25 to 50 keywords that you want to rank for and mix them up throughout your announcement, your about me section, anywhere you could put a keyword. Really good job with this photo. I actually like it. It's nice. It's cropped in a complimentary way. So I like it. And good job on your reviews. I know you only have a few sales and you got 2 reviews, but it's always good to start off with good reviews. Keep in mind, unfortunately, I get bad reviews. Everybody gets a bad review, even when you don't deserve it. But bad reviews does affect your quality score with Etsy. So always doing great customer service like you're doing is very essential and is very important to avoid having customers that will leave you a bad review. And you can't avoid it. You're gonna get those people. I get them all the time. So unfortunately, it does happen. Um, but these are my suggestions for your store. I also recommend, Cassie, I'm going to be doing a training on Pinterest, a course that I'm creating. But I recommend doing Pinterest. I highly recommend signing up for Pinterest. It's a really great way to drive traffic um, back to not only your Etsy shop, but if you ever have a blog or you have other sources where you want to send traffic to, like affiliate marketing, like I do, was a really, really great way to make money, a really great way to drive free traffic. I just did a post not even 2 months ago. This post will be 2 months on, I say, February 15th. And this post got 145,000 impressions. 984 people have saved it, and almost 4,000, well, almost 5,000 clicks. So this is the power of Pinterest. I absolutely use Pinterest. I love it. It helps me drive tons of traffic. So I highly recommend it for everybody out there that has an Etsy business or maybe a handmade business or even a business outside of Etsy to start using Pinterest. But these are my tips. Cassie, I hope that they were helpful. If you guys have any questions, if you guys want to shop and buy something from Cassie, the link is below this video. And also, guys, I'm trying to create a sense of community where we all come together, we help each other, we give tips, we uplift each other. So, guys, if you have any suggestions for Cassie on anything that maybe I didn't talk about that she should fix, or something that you loved about her store that looks pretty good, leave a comment below, positive, and make sure that is good criticism, right? Leave a comment below so we could all help each other and grow and build successful businesses together. So make sure that you like, comment, and share this video. Thank you, guys.